And welcome to the channel. We got some pre-1961 Appa Bats League, and we got the New York Yankees traveling down I-95 to take on the Boston Red Sox. And game two of this three game series on April 22nd. And let's look at the starting lineup here for the New York Yankees. Leading off, playing second base, Tony Lozera. Batting second, playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Batting third, playing left field, Babe Ruth. Batting fourth, playing right field, Mickey Mantle. Batting fifth, playing first base, Lou Gehrig. Batting sixth, playing center field, Joe DiMaggio. Batting seventh, doing the catching, Yogi Berra. Batting eighth, playing third base, Red Wolf. Batting ninth, and on the mound for the Yankees is Chief Reynolds. And let's take a look at the Boston Red Sox starting lineup here. We got leading off, playing third base, Jimmy Collins. Batting second, playing second, Pete Rollins. Batting third, playing center field, Dom DiMaggio. Batting fourth, playing left field, Ted Williams. Batting fifth, playing right field, Jackie Jensen. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Vern Stevens. Batting seventh, playing first base, Buck Freeman. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Sammy White. And on the mound for the Boston Red Sox is Carl Mays. And let's get down here to the Fenway Park and get this game started, folks. And Tony Lozera's batting .444 on the year. He's got a homer and 1 RBI going up against Carl Mays. This is his first appearance of this season. This is Mays' 1917 season. He pitched in 35 games in 1917, started 33, was 22-9 with a 1.74 ERA. Here's the pitch to Tony. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Freeman at first. He'll take it himself. He'll step on the bag for out number one. And as you can see, the American League batting leaders and hits is Al Simmons with 8, Williams with 7, home run Baker with 6, Collins 6, and Falk with 6. And that'll bring up Phil Rizzuto now, only batting a .133. No homers and no RBIs on the year. Can Phil get on board for the big boy? And nope. Well, maybe. It might be an error. The ball's hit out in front of the plate. 35 on an 8. And that'll be fielding column 1. And that's going to be a nice play by Sammy. He picks the ball up, throws it down the first. And that'll be out number 2. So up comes Babe Ruth now with nobody on. 2 outs. Ruth batting .400 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs on the year. And that's what they paid a big boy for. That's going to be against a righty at 16. And that's going to be popped up. Nice play out there by Pete Rollins. Out in shallow right field. Takes a hit away from the Babe. Yankees go down 1-2-3 as Ken Castro joins us. We get to the bottom of the first. It's Yankees nothing. And Collins, Rollins, and DiMaggio due up here for the Red Sox. Jimmy's batting .429. He's got a homer and 2 RBIs. He'll be going up against Chief Reynolds. And the Chief, this is his 1952 season. In 52, he started 35 games. Played in 35 games, started 29, was 20-8, and he had 6 saves with a 2.06 ERA. Here's the pitch to Jimmy. He started off game number 1 with the Yankees with a homer. And not this time. That'll be a ground ball down the third. Reds up with it. Fires over to Lou for out number 1. What a difference a day makes. And that'll bring out Pete Rollins now. Pete's only batting a .125. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be the first walk of the ball game. So Pete gets aboard here with a 1-out walk. Brings up DiMaggio now. And DiMaggio's only batting .091, no homers and no RBIs. He's 1 for 11, folks. And he's going to be 1 for 12 as that's a ground ball down to Tony. And on a 46 and an 8, that should be fielding column number 1, I would think. Yep. And they'll get the runner out at second. Tony fires down the field. And that'll leave 2 outs now, and DiMaggio down at first for Ted Williams. And Ted's having an awesome start to this season, folks. Batting .778 with 3 homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be against a 18. That's going to be a nice play down at second by Tony. And he fires that ball over to second the short way. That'll win the inning. And the Red Sox leave 1. We go to the top of the second. Still no score here in Boston. We have Mantle, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. And Mick, to say the least, is cold. I mean, he is so cold that Alaska seems like a warm season right now in the wintertime. Mick is 0 for 15, folks. Here's the pitch to Mick. And that's going to be his first base hit of the year, folks. That ball is driven out there. Let's see, against the righty. Going to make him a 17. That's going to be a single in the right field. Jensen gets over, cuts that ball off quickly. Mick makes a big turn at first, but with his first base hit, he don't want to get thrown out at second. So Mick down at first, nobody out. Nice to see Mick finally get a hit here. And Mantle with great speed down there at first. You got Lou Gehrig, got Blue. He's batting .429, 2 homers and 2 RBIs. Let's see if he can do something with Mick down there. And that's going to be against a 14. And that's going to be a infield hit, a slow roller down the third. No place for Vern to go with that. I'm short. No place for Vern to go with that. And just like that, the Yankees have got the first 2 batters aboard here. Mick down at second, Lou at first, and we got Joe DiMaggio up. And Joe is batting .214, a homer and 2 RBIs. Can DiMaggio get the Yankees on the board here, folks? And that ball is going to be hit out to center field, out to his brother Dom. Can he make a nice play here? A 34, and he's a fielding 3, so that should be fielding column number 1. And that's going to be a single in the center. Runners advance 1 base. So we're going to have bases loaded as DiMaggio was able to get to that ball quickly. And with nobody out, they'll go station to station here. That brings up Yogi Berra. Bases juice, folks. And still no one out. Can Yogi, Casey's boy, deliver here? Yogi's batting .250. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. Ducks on the pond, man. Mantle, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. Here's the pitch to Yogi. And that's going to be a hit back to the mound. And Mays is a 1 on a 11. That's still going to be fielding column 1. And that's going to be the old 1, 2, 3 double play. So Yogi hits into the 1, 2, 3 double play. Now we got second and third and 2 outs. That was a big out there. Real nice play by Carl Mays. So second and third and 2 outs. You got DiMaggio at second, Gehrig at third, and Red's batting .286. We need a 2-out base hit here to give the Yankees a lead. Red is no homers and 1 RBI. Can he double his total here, folks? And no, that's going to be another ground ball back to the mound. And this time he'll fire over to first. That'll end the inning. And the Yankees, with the bases loaded, nobody out, doesn't get a run. See if that comes back to bite him in the butt. We get to the bottom of the second. You got Jensen, Stevens, and Freeman due up here against Reynolds. Jackie's batting .222, 2 homers and 4 RBIs. And he squares this one up against Reynolds. And that's going to be a double in the right field. Mick gets over there, fires it in. So a leadoff double here by Jackie Jensen to go ahead and run down at second. And Vern Stevens up batting .250, no homers and no RBIs. Can the Yankees get out of this with no run scoring? That's a big swing and a miss, a strikeout by Reynolds, his first one. Vern goes down swinging, brings up Buck Freeman now. And Buck is 0 for 5 on the year. Here's the pitch to Buck. And he's going to be 0 for 6. That ball's hit out the left field. Jackie will stay planted at second. 2 big outs after the leadoff double. Brings up Sammy White now. Can Sammy deliver here? He's cold as Mick was. He's 0 for 10. No homers and no RBIs. And that ball is going to be hit down the second. And that's going to be a 31 on an 8. That should be fielding column 1, I would think. And it is 20 or 31 on an 8. That's still going to be a single in the second. And Jackie's only going to get 1 base out of it as he knocks it down, Tony does. Keeps that ball in the infield. So it's first and third now. 2 outs. And Carl Mays steps up to the plate. And this is Mays 1917. And we don't need no stinking DH. Mays hit .252 in 17. No homers and 14 RBIs. Can Reynolds get out of this with no run scoring, folks? And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. And Babe Ruth makes the catch for out number 3. So the Red Sox leave 2 on in the second also. We go to the top of the third, still no score. Pitchers have had some problems, but they've been able to pitch around them. Talking about Reynolds, he'll be due up first, followed by Lazario and Rizzuto. And this is Reynolds' 1952 season. He batted a .153, no homers and 7 RBIs. Here's the pitch to the teeth. And that'll be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. The first strikeout for Mays. And to the top of the order we go. And Tony grounded out the first, his first time up. And that'll be a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mays. He's dealing here in the third after a shaky second. Up steps Phil Rizzuto. Can Phil get on base? He grounded out to the catcher his first time up. And that ball will be hit down. Will be a chopper again in front of the plate. And this time, I don't think Sammy's going to make a decent play on this one. A 61 on an 8. That'll be fielding column 2. And that'll be a burst on an error as the chopper, Baltimore chopper, he can't field it cleanly. He holds on to the ball, so Rizzuto will make it down the first. How big was this error? We got Babe Ruth up now. The runner on at first and 2 outs. Babe popped up the second. Can Ruth deliver here, folks, with this extra out? And that's going to be against a 16. That is going to be a fly ball in the shallow left field. And Jimmy Collins goes out, makes the catch. And that'll win the inning. Yankees strand 1 to the bottom of the third we go. But the top of the order we got here for the Red Sox. Collins, Rollins, and DiMaggio. Jimmy grounded out the third his first time up. And that'll be a base on ball. So the Red Sox get the leadoff batter aboard here. Collins trots on down to first. And up to the plate steps Pete Rollins. He walked his first time up. Here's the pitch to Pete. And that's going to be against a 19. That is going to be a ground ball down the short. And on a 61, they might only get the runner at first here. 61 on a 9. That's going to be fielding column 2. And yep, the only play Phil's got is over to first. So Jimmy gets down the second now. So we got a runner in scoring position for DiMaggio. And this is Dom as Tim D joins us. And Dom is 0 for 1. He reached on the fielder's choice. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Let's see if he can look the runner back here. And he looks the runner back to second, fires over to first. And that'll be 2 outs now. And up steps Ted Williams. And here is the question. Do we pitch to Williams here with 2 outs and a runner down at second, batting 700? And I say no. We're going to walk Teddy Baseball, the greatest hitter of all times. Intentionally walk to bring up Jackie Jensen. Plus, we got the righty-righty matchup. So Williams down at first, Collins at second. Jackie, though, he doubled his first time up. Here's the pitch to Jackie as we drop the dice. And that'll be against a 20. And that'll be a ground ball down the short. He'll fire over to second the short way. And that ends the inning. So walking Ted Williams paid off. We go to the top of the fourth. The Red Sox strand 2 again. And it's still nothing. We got Mick up now. He finally got his first base hit his last time up. Can Mick get on a hitting streak here? As we see the upcoming schedule for Boston, they got one more game here against the Yankees. Then they go on the road for 4 against Kansas City, and then back home with Cleveland. Here's the pitch to the mixer. And that's going to be another base hit, I believe, here. Mick with 2 base hits. Let's see, against a 19. Yep, that ball is this going to drop in front of DiMaggio. And Mick all of a sudden now is 2 for 2, starting to find his groove. He's back down at first with a leadoff single like he was in the second. And here comes Lou Gehrig up now. Remember, Lou singled his first time up. And let's see if Lou can do something. Mick down at first, nobody out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Gehrig strikes out. That'll be the 3rd strikeout for Mays. Up steps DiMaggio. He singled his first time up. Mick was unable to score and stopped at third, and that loaded the bases. Can DiMaggio do something this time, folks? And not what you want to see. That's a ground ball down the short. Burns up with it. He fires over to Pete, over to Freeman, and that's an old 6-4-3 double play. That ends the inning. The Yankees go down to the bottom of the fourth. We go, and Burns the first man up to the plate, followed by Freeman and White. Vern struck out his first time up against the Chiefs. And that's going to be a base on balls. Again, the leadoff batter gets aboard here for the Red Sox. And that brings up Buck Freeman. And Buck is 0 for 1. He flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be another fly ball out the roof and another out. So now there's 1 down. It brings up Sammy White. Can they get a ground ball double play here from Sammy? He's sure not fleet of foot. So Sammy did single his last time up, though. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio. 2 fly balls, 2 outs. And Vern's still down there at first. And that brings up Mays now. And Mays is 0 for 1. He flew out the roof this first time up. And not this time, folks. That's going to be a double in right field. And Vern, he's got average speed down there. 6. So it's a 52. See if he can score from first on the. We don't need no stinking DH. Mick's got a gun out there. So he's going to have a play at the plate here. So it is a 51 or lower. Vern's going to score. Can Mick gun him out at the plate, folks? And he does. Nice throw by Mick. Yogi puts on. That's one thing I've been forgetting to do is to drop balls. And since I remembered it, let's do that now. So Yogi puts a tag on him. And a 4 and we need another dice roll here. 4 and a 36. 4 and a 36. And And he's out of there, folks. Nice job by Yog. So that's going to be what was it? A double in the right field. Well, first let's put the thing in here. Double in the right field. And R1X2, or 3 rather, get thrown out at home. Nice play by Mick. And that ends the inning, folks. As Mays comes through, but Mick guns the runner out at the plate. Let's see here. Yogi's up now. Can Yogi deliver? He hit into the 1-2-3 double play his first time up. Don't see that very often. That's just going to be a fly ball out the center. And that'll be out number 1. Up steps Red now. And Red is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the mound his first time up. And that'll be another fly ball out to DiMaggio. 2 fly balls to center and 2 outs. See if Reynolds can get on board. And Reynolds struck out his first time up. And he's going to ground out the third. Collins up with it. And that'll end the inning. The Yankees go down 1-2-3. To the bottom of the 5th we go. To the top of the order we go. Collins, Rollins, and DiMaggio. Jimmy's 0 for 1. He grounded out and walked. And he squares this one up. Jimmy's off to a good start this year. And that ball is driven into the gap in left field. It bounces off the wall. Roof doesn't play it well. Collins around in second, headed for third with a leadoff triple. So Collins down at third, going to force the Yankees to bring the infield in. And Pete Rollins is up now. And Pete is 0 for 1. He's walked and grounded out the third. Here's the pitch to Pete. And that's going to be a 27 with the infield in. And that is going to be a 22. And the runner takes off for home. Red fires it into home plate. Yogi applies the tag. And that's going to be a 5-2 put out. So Pete will end up down at first. Collins off on contact. Not a very smart base running play there. And again, the Yankees now with 1 out and a runner down at first. And that'll bring up DiMaggio. He is 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out to third. So the defense is showing up here for the Yankees. And that'll be a swing and a miss. He strikes out DiMaggio. So with a runner down at third, now it's 2 outs with a runner at first and still no score in this ball game. And Ted Williams is 0 for 1. He was intentionally walked and reached on a fielder's choice, so he's been on base both times. And not this time. That's going to be a ground ball down to Gary. Excuse me. He takes it himself. And that'll end the inning. Red Sox strand 1. We go to the top of the 6th, and we got the top of the order due up here for the Yanks. Tony, Phil, and Ruth. Tony's 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. And he didn't do it this time, folks. He squares this up against Carl Mays. Yeah, it looks like all defense is right, Tim. And that's going to be a single in the right field. So Tony gets aboard here with a leadoff base hit in the left field, rather. Turns on that one. And that brings up Phil Rizzuto now. And Phil is 0 for 2. I think we're going to put the hit and run on, try to stay away from the double play. Phil grounded out the catcher and reached on an error on the catcher. So here's the pitch to Phil. The hit and run is on, and he squares this one up, folks. And that ball is driven into center field. DiMaggio can't get to it, and the runner will reach third easily. So we got first and third now, nobody out. That'll get the bullpen up as Mays now in trouble. And here comes the big boys up for the Yankees. Yeah, just like a tight playoff game. And all of a sudden now, here in the 6th inning, the bats are coming alive. Ruth has popped up to second. And the third, runner down at third, and Tony Lazaria and Phil Rizzuto down at first. Here's the pitch to the Babe. And that's going to be maybe a double play ball. Let's look here. 51 on a 2. That's not going to be good. Not a very good fielding first baseman. That'll be fielding column 3. And Babe is a pull right. So, or pull right. That's going to be a single in the right field. One runner scores, and Phil's going to make it the third. So Babe Ruth with an RBI single, and we still got first and third and nobody out. And up steps the Mick. And this might be the last batter here. So you got the lefty, righty, and then another lefty's coming up. So this might be the last batter for Mays. They're going to let Mick bat from the left side. See what they got out in the bullpen. They don't have a left-handed pitcher out in the bullpen, folks. No lefties in the bullpen at all. Sullivan says it's going to be a real big show. Is getting up. So Sullivan's up and warm, and Mick is 2 for 2 after being 0 for 15. First and third. Can the Mick bust this game open, folks? And no, that's not what the Yankees wanted to see. That's a ground ball back to the mound. 53 on a 1 should be fielding column number 3. And it is. And that's going to be, I was going to be playing back for the double play. And he's going to look the runner back to third, spin around, and fire down the second. And so now there's 1 out. Mick down at first. And Lou Gehrig up now. And let's see if Mick's going to take off here for second. A G is only with 2 outs behind by 1 or tied in the 8th inning or later. So Mick still can't take off here in the 6th. So Lou is 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. Really big show is right. Yep. Lou Gehrig's up. He's 1 for 2. So May stays out there. Again, they're back looking for the double play. And that's going to be a base on balls. And that's going to be it for Mays. As now the right-handed Joe DiMaggio comes up. Mays comes out of the game here. And Frank Sullivan's coming out of the bullpen. So Sullivan will be coming out of the pen here. Let's see when Frank last pitched here. This might be Frank's first appearance of the year, folks. The Red Sox bullpen is not very good. They got 3 great starters. And after that, their pitching staff gets weak in a hurry, doesn't it, Ken? So this is Sullivan's 1955 season. This is his first game. He pitched in 35 games. He started all 35. He has an 18-3 record in 55 with a 2.91 ERA, and he comes into this game with a mess. Yankees everywhere you look. DiMaggio at the plate. Gehrig at first. Mano at second. And Rizzuto at third. Joe is 1 for 2. Singled and grounded into a double play. Can DiMaggio increase this 1-0 lead, folks? And that's going to be a fly ball out to his brother Dom in center field. A 33 and a 3. That'll be fielding column 1. A 56. Phil should score easy on a 56. We'll do the math here just to make sure. Yep, he'll score with no throw. Let's see if Mick can get down to second. And let's see here. A 38, a 3, plus an 18, a 21. And you got Yogi due up. A 21 is going to be a what? 43. Mick's going to hold. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly. That'll double the lead. It'll be 2-0. And now we got Yogi up with 2-out runners on first and second here. And a single with 2 outs is going to score Mick easy. So Mick with the lead down there at second. Yogi is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. Yeah, they are a little frustrating to say the least. Like I say, you get past the big three, the Dutchman, Smoky Wood, and then Cy. And after that, it drops off big time. And that bullpen of theirs is not good at all. You got Kreider out there. That's a hell of an arm. But other than that, the rest of them are very weak. See if Yogi can deliver here. And that's going to be a base on balls. That loads the bases up again. So they don't want no parts of Yogi. They want to pitch to Red. And let's see if Red can make them pay for it. It does have a force out at any base now. And Red's over 2. He's grounded out to the pitcher and flew out the center. Here's the pitch to him. And he indeed makes them pay. He squares this ball up, folks, and this could be it. Nail this game down. That's going to be a column 4 double in the left center. That'll score Mick and Lou, and that should score out in center field Yogi with a 10 and a 57. He should score easy. We'll check out. Just want to check. So a 32. So a 62 or lower, Yogi's going to score. And they nail Yogi at the plate. Dom DiMaggio with a nice throw. That is awesome throw by DiMaggio. White. Oh, don't forget the drop here. Let's see about the drop. So we used a black die for the single column, a 6 and a 15. I'm starting to remember this damn drop column. A 6 and a 15, and that's nothing. So he's out of there, folks. Double in the center field. And the runner on first is thrown out at home. But the Yankees scored 2 more and make it 4-2, 4-0 rather, as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's hard to remember that damn drop, ain't it, Ken? I keep remembering that drop or the overthrow if he's safe. I don't know. I just started remembering it today. I'm pretty proud of myself. I know. I'm patting myself on the back, but damn. All righty. So we got Reynolds. He'll be due to lead off the 7th inning. And he's pitching a hell of a game, so he'll probably stay in. And he's going to be facing Jensen, Stevens, and Freeman. Jackie's 1 for 2 with a double and reached on the. You miss it sometimes. Yeah, I've been missing it a lot. This is the first I remembered it in games, and I can't tell you how many. And that's going to be a ground ball down the red. He fires over to first, and that'll be out number 1. And Mr. Vern Stevens steps up to the plate now. Vern's 0 for 1. He struck out and walked. He's got to put the ball in play. And he does this time. That's a high pop up. That's a rainmaker down the second. Tony waiting for it to come down. It does. Into his glove for out number 2. I hope you're right, Tim D. But this game has been crazy lately, and especially if they start to rough up Reynolds, and we got to go to the Yankees bullpen. The Yankees bullpen isn't that great. I talked about it in the last game. It's not that great. As you can see here on the screen, the Yankees and Boston's record and averages. Yankees are 3-1. They're batting .268. Their on base percentage is .342. Slugging is .561, and their OPS is .903. I love this little thing here. They got rid of that graphics and put these nice looking reports in here. Boston is 2-1. They're only batting a .183. Now they're 2-1, batting a .183. Obviously, it's pitching, and more pitching. Their on-base percentage is only .297, slugging .611. Their OPS, though, is .908. So now we got Freeman up with 2 outs and nobody on. And he's 0 for 2. He's flown out the roof both times. Not this time, folks. He squares it up. And he drives that ball into the gap in right field. Joe gets over there, grabs it. He'll fire it in. But Freeman's down at second now with 2 outs for Sammy White. And Sammy is 1 for 2, singled and flew out the center. And that's going to be an 8 against a 20. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Phil's up with it. He fires over to first. And that ends the inning. Red Sox strand 1 to the 7th inning we go. Yankees up by 4. We got Reynolds due up, followed by the top of the order, Tony Lazzeri and Phil Rizzuto. The Chief is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out to third. And that's going to be hit on the first. And Freeman is not a very good fielding first baseman, but he might come up with this one. Fielding column 2 on a 14. And that's going to be a nice play by him down there. Nice play by Buck Freeman. Makes a dive and stomp, gets up and beats Reynolds to the bag. So 1 down. Tip of the cap to Buck Freeman. And that'll bring up Tony Lazzeri. He's 1 for 3, grounded out, struck out, and singled in the 6th and came around the score. Here's the pitch to Tony. And he squares this one up again, folks. Tony all of a sudden hitting well, batting over 400, and that ball is driven out there, bounces off the wall. Ted Williams doesn't play that one well, folks. Unbelievable. Normally he plays that monster like he owns it. And Tony's rounding third, and he's a brown-eyed, handsome man, and he's going to be in there safely with a 1-out triple. So Tony down at third. They got to bring the infield in. That brings up Phil Rizzuto. Phil's 1 for 3. He came around the score in the 6th. He's reached on an error and grounded out to the catcher. Red Sox got to keep this a 4-run game. And that's not, because Phil Rizzuto squares this one up too, folks. And that ball is hit into the gap out in right field. And that's going to score Tony. And 1 out now, and Tony down at second. Phil Rizzuto down at second. And now that the Mick's starting to hit, they're going to pitch to Ruth. If Mick wasn't 3 for 3 today, I was considering starting to walk Babe every time until Mick could prove he could hit, but he's hitting today. Babe's 1 for 3 with an RBI. He's popped up to second and third his other 2 times up. And they still don't want no parts of Ruth. So they don't intentionally walk him, but they pitch around him and don't give him nothing to hit. They're not sure Mick can deliver here for the 4th time today. Like I say, Mick was 0 for 15, and he's 2 for 3. So he singled twice and reached on a fielder's choice and came around the score. Can Mick increase this to a 6-0 or even higher lead, folks? And no, that's a swing and a miss. Nice job by the Red Sox pitching to Mick instead of Babe. That brings up Lou Gehrig now, though. And Lou is 1 for 2. He's walked, struck out, and singled. And that's all she wrote, folks. That ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is going. Lou turns on that one, and that short right field and low wall isn't going to keep this one in there. That's a 3-run homer. Turn out the lights. This party's over. It's 8-0 New York. And Sullivan says it's a really big show, but it's a big show for the Yankees that he delivered, not one for the Red Sox. And now we got DiMaggio up. He's 1 for 2. Had a sacrifice fly his last time up, singled and grounded out. Here's the pitch to DiMaggio. The Yankees up by 8, scored 4 runs in the 8th, 4 runs, 4 runs in the 7th. And that's going to be a fly ball out to his brother. He calls for it, makes the catch. That'll end the inning, but the Yankees score 4, 3 of them on the homer. We go to the 7th inning stretch. And that'll be it for Sullivan. I have a pitch hitter for him. And then to the top of the order we go. Reynolds is due up third. They're going to try to get him through this 7th inning. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Johnny Pesky's going to come off the bench and pitch hit here for the Red Sox. Hey, Aaron. Aaron's talking about starting some new projects on his channel. I hope he does. Looking forward to seeing them. So Johnny Pesky, this is his 1946 season. Pesky's 0 for 3, and in 1946 he batted .335 with 2 homers and 55 RBIs. Can Pesky get aboard here? The Red Sox need a lot of base runners. And we got some player awards here. You got Tex Hughes was the All-Star in 42. Ted Williams was the most valuable player in 41. Carl Hayes made the All-Star team in 21. I'm talking about Johnny Pesky, he made the All-Star team in 42. And Ted Williams was the Triple Crown winner in 47. So here's the pitch to Pesky. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Phil Rizzuto at short. He's going to fire over to first for out number 1. To the top of the order we go. Let's see who's going to come out here and probably pitch. You got some lefties. Again, they don't have a lefty in the bullpen. And since we just seen Tex Hughes All-Star in 42, it'll probably be Tex coming out of the bullpen. So now we're back to the top of the order. And Jimmy Collins, Jimmy's 1 for 2, has a triple. Grounded out and walked his other 2 times up and got stranded down there. Well, you didn't get stranded at third, got thrown out at home, if you remember right. That's going to be a fly ball out the roof, 2 up and 2 down. And Pete Rollins is up now. And Pete is 0 for 2. He's walked, grounded out to short, and reached on the fielder's choice. And he squares this one up, Pete does. So he's not giving up without a fight anyway. And that's going to be a double in the right field. So you got a runner in scoring position now with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Joe Dom DiMaggio. Dom, he's 0 for 2. He's walked, reached on a fielder's choice, and he's 0 for 3. He's struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out the third. And he's blasted this ball. Let's see, a 7 and against 19. That's going to be a single in the right field. And Pete may not even be able to make it home here. Not with the gun out there, Mick. Let's see here. It'll be a 52, a 37, plus only 9, a 24. He's going to try to score, folks, just to get the Red Sox on the board. Mick's already thrown out 1 runner. A 46 or lower, he's safe. And he's safe. That's an RBI single by DiMaggio. And it is now 8-1. So they get on the board here in the 7th. That brings up Ted Williams. And Williams is 0 for 2. He's walked, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out the first. The walk was an intentional walk. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Phil tosses it over to second to Tony, and that'll end the inning. Red Sox get on the board. It's 8-1. We get to the top of the 8th. You'll have Barra, Red, and Reynolds due up here. And like I say, Tex is going to come out of the bullpen. What year is this for Tex? It is 1946 season. When was the last time Tex pitched? Yeah, it might be his first appearance of the year. And this will be in 1947. Is that what I said? 47? 46. He pitched in 39 games, started 35, 20 and 11. He had 3 saves with a 2.75 ERA. He'll be facing the bottom part of the order for the Yankees. Bear, Ruff, and Reynolds. Can Yogi get aboard here? And that's going to be a pop up down the second. That'll be out number 1. Brings up Red now. Can Red deliver here with 1 out? And the Yankees up by 7. And Red's 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI double. And that's going to be popped up. This one down the short. 2 pop-ups, 2 outs. And we're going to let Reynolds try to at least get through the 8th inning here. He's got a 7-run lead. Reynolds is 0 for 3. He has struck out, grounded out twice, once to third and once to first. And that's going to be another ground ball down the third. Matter of fact, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. To the bottom of the 8th we go. We got Jensen, Stevens, and Freeman due up here for the Red Sox. We look at some player awards for the Yankees. Gomez was an all-star in 34. DiMaggio was an all-star in 47. And Whitey Ford won an award named Babe Ruth in 1961. And Ruth was an all-star in 23. And Phil Rizzuto was the most valuable player in 1950. Here's the pitch to Jackie. He's 1 for 3, a double, a fielder's choice, and a ground out. And that's going to be against a 23. That's going to be a fly ball out to Joe in center for out number 1. And here comes Mr. Vern Stevens. Vern, he's 0 for 2 with a walk, struck out and popped up. And that's going to be a fly ball again out to center field. 2 fly balls to DiMaggio, 2 outs. Up steps Buck Freeman now. Buck's 1 for 3. He doubled his last time up and flew out the roof the other 2 times. And that's going to be a rare play. 31 on a 41. And that's going to be a strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Buck. And that's going to be a fly ball again out the roof. 3 fly balls to roof 3 times. Buck Freeman's been out. To the top of the 9th we go. The top of the order for the Yankees. And we got Tony is 2 for 4, followed by Rizzuto and Ruth. Tony has singled and hit a triple. So here's the pitch to Tony. And that's going to be a base on balls. Tex walks him. So Tony down at first with nobody out for Phil Rizzuto. Can the Yankees add to this 7-run lead? Phil is 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI his last time up. Here's the pitch to Phil. And that's going to be a pop up in the foul territory. Sammy near the dugout takes the mask off, makes the catch for out number 1. Here comes Mr. Ruth up now. And Babe is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. He's walked and popped up the second and the third. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Can they go around the horn? Collins down there, an excellent third baseman. 63 on a 6, though. Not what you want to see. And that's going to be fielding column number 2. They'll get the runner out at second. Matter of fact, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He got the K factor. He strikes out Babe. So that is 2 down. And up steps Mickey Mantle. And Mick is 2 for 4 today. 2 singles, reached on a fielder's choice and struck out his last time up. And that's a 10 against a 15. And that is going to be a ground ball down the second. Pete's up with it. He tosses it over to first, gets Mick out. Nice play by Pete to rob Mick of a base hit. And that'll end the top of the 9th. To the bottom of the 9th we go. And let's see here. You got a righty, and a right, and you got a righty, a pitch hitter, and then Collins due up. They're going to let him pitch to Sammy. Now it'll probably be it for Reynolds after Sammy. Whoever comes out the pitch hit, they'll probably bring the lefty in. Let's see who they got out there in the bullpen that's a lefty. You've got old Herb. Will probably come in here. See if old Herb will be the pitcher when they bring up a pitch hitter here for Tex. Would be my guess anyway. That's what'll happen. See here, you got Sammy White due up, followed by Hughes, and then back to Collins.
Panic.
So here's the pitch to Sammy. See if Reynolds can get Sammy out. And that's going to be a fly ball out the roof. Fly ball out the roof for out number 1. Now let's see who's going to come out of the dugout as Tex is done. And let's see here. You got Goodman and Kramer, old Doc, and Goodman. Goodman's going to come off the bench here. And that'll be it for Reynolds as the lefty comes out.
Panic.
And Pennick's going to come out here, or Herb Pennick, going to come out here and try to close this game out. Won't be a save opportunity. So first we'll bring out the pitch hitter and Goodman rather, not Doc. So Billy's going to come out and pitch hit. And then Pennick will come in and pitch. And where's Pennick at? There's Herb. So Reynolds goes 8 1/3. Gave up 1 run, and that was it, folks, along with it. So let's see if Herb can come in here and close this one out. This will be Herb's second appearance of the season. He pitched 2 innings. He's given up 2 runs. And Goodman at the plate now with nobody on and 1 out. Here's the pitch to Goodman. This is Goodman. He is 0 for 4. And that's going to be a base on balls. Here we go. Herb walks him, folks. This could be dangerous. Like I say, this Yankee bullpen's not the greatest. So Billy walks down the first. Back to the top of the order we go in Collins. 1 out. Yankees looking for a double play here. Collins is 1 for 3. He is tripled rather, grounded out, and walked in, flown out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Herb. Now there's 2 outs. Pete Rollins is up. And Pete is 1 for 3. He's got a double in the game, walked and grounded out and reached on the fielder's choice. And that's going to be your ball game. That's a ground ball down the short. Phil fires it over to Gehrig, and that'll end the game. The Yankees win this one easily, 8-1. Take a look here at the box score. The Yankees, 8 runs on 11 hits and no errors. The Red Sox, 1 run, 7 hits and 1 error. Look at that top of that order, folks. Tony, 2 for 4. Phil, 2 for 5. Ruth, 1 for 3. 1 for 4. Mick finally comes out of his slump, goes 2 for 5. Lou, 2 for 3. The only Yankee without a hit besides the Chief Reynolds is Yogi Berra. He goes 0 for 3. Yankees were 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Lou Gehrig with a homer, Tony with a triple. Yankees left 5 men on base. And Red Sox were 2 for 9, nobody with multiple hit game. Oh, me and you both, Tim. I appreciate it, bud. I think the same thing. You had Jimmy Collins with a triple, and the Red Sox had their opportunities, folks. Had left 10 men on base. Reynolds picks up his first win. He goes 8 and a third, 7 hits, 1 run, walked 4, struck out 2. Pennick comes in 2/3 of an inning, walked 1. Mays drops to 0-1, 5 and a third, 7 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, struck out 3. Ed Sullivan promised a really big show and he delivered. It was all a Yankee show. 1 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, a strikeout, and a homer. Tex Hughes comes in, does a nice job, 2 innings, walked 1 and struck out 2, but the game was over by then, folks. Take a look here at the standings. Not a lot to look at. Only a few games played. And the Yankees are now a game up on the Tigers. And like I say, now you got Bob Serve leading the American League and Jack Tobin with a 600 batting average. Ruth with still 4 homers and 9 RBIs. And of course, it's going to be shutouts. And everybody tied with 1 win. Joe Page with 2 saves. Ruth still leading in the MVP. And Bob Shockey still leading with the Cy Young. I want to thank Tim D, Aaron Reed, Ken Castro, and I believe that was everybody, folks, for stopping here today. We'll probably be back on in a little bit and we'll finish this series out. You're going to have Jack Chisbro going up against Dusty Parnell. So that should be an interesting game. That'll be game number 3 of this 3-game series. Until next time, you all have a great afternoon. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders. And on your way out of Fenway Park, hit that like button and leave a comment. Y'all take care.